up,
He
Dean?
let us back in the building. Check that out.
Right? How's your weekend?
It was good. It was real good. You want me to tell you why it was real good?
Listen, I am just in a giving mood right now,
Yeah.
and that's
How
why I
about
brought it
them
up.
Raiders?
How'd your Chiefs do?
My Chiefs looked as bad as you can possibly look and still win a game. That was their weekend.
Boy, the
And
announcers
if
were all
Rodgers
over
was
it too.
playing, they'd have got creamed.
The announcers were all over it. They're like,
Oh yeah.
they keep on thinking that this is the week that they're going to snap out of it and show themselves and get everything together, and it's just not still
There
happening.
is something just off the rails there in Kansas City. I still got faith, but they're going to have to rip off like 7 of the next 9 games to make a legit run. And I don't know if that can happen.
I'm almost thinking they have to win out, but the Raiders lost.
Yeah.
I mean, the division is tight.
It's all right there. Everybody's either 5-3 or 5-4, but
it could be like the NFC Central, the Cowboys last year, who got in with a crap record or something.
Yeah, somebody got in with a 500 or less record last year because they added somebody to the playoffs, right? They added one more team. Yeah.
Something like that. So, next episode, I think we came up to some days we don't do what's best for ourselves.
Yeah, that's probably a longer conversation than we might like to admit, but there's usually some comedy involved along the way as well.
To one or both of us, or at least someone else's expense along the way.
Yeah, definitely so. And I was thinking about it, and I narrowed it down to a couple things that we repeatedly do that might be the bane of our existence. You know, it seems like a lot of these stories start out with, well, we were DJing this wedding, or, well, we went out golfing.
You forgot
maybe a lot of bad
one.
decisions are just tied to golf and weddings. I don't know what it is.
You forgot the big one.
Drinking?
We started drinking.
Well, I didn't even think I had to mention that, but yeah, you're right.
You know, isn't it great that, you know, I catch myself, I'm lecturing or telling a story to my kids, what not to do, and I'm thinking, that's the pot calling the kettle black on a lot of these stories.
Well, let's be honest here. You have to have made a few mistakes along the way so that you know right from wrong. We just happen to know a whole lot of wrong, and we're just sharing and trying to help people.
Yep. My coach, Mark Tiffany, in wrestling, he always gave me the biggest quote. He's like, when anyone tells you practice makes perfect, it's a bunch of bullshit. And because you heard that your whole life, right?
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
He's like, no, perfect practice makes perfect. He goes, you practice something wrong all the time, you're never going to get it right.
Oh, and that's a good point.
Referring to our segment here, our episode is, I don't know if we practiced, but we did a lot wrong along the way.
Yeah.
And we've learned. We've gotten a little wiser.
Yeah.
We don't DJ anymore.
Right.
Right?
We eliminated half the opportunity to do stuff wrong.
That's it. Very wise. Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, best running back of all time, Walter Payton, I'm representing. You know, it was 25 years ago last week he died.
That long ago?
Was it 22 or 25? One of the two. But, yeah, lost a great one with
still
sweetness.
miffed that he didn't get the touchdown in the Super Bowl and they gave it to Fridge.
Mike Ditka is still taking a beating for that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing Chicago fans don't forget.
Never.
Got a Hall of Famer. Everybody knows he's a Hall of Famer. And you go with the gimmick play and give it to Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah. So I was reading over, I made a couple notes myself. And you emailed me throughout the week, and you said a line that I wrote down is, we're both fairly educated individuals. I think we're pretty smart, right?
Yeah.
And we've made wise decisions a good amount of the time along the way, but every now and then, judgment lapse.
Yeah.
So for all the listeners out there, yeah, and I'm sure everyone can agree with you, you know, kind of like how you learn not to touch a hot stove. because you touched it once, burn your
Yeah.
hand or a little bit, right?
Yeah. You can't take anybody else's word for it. You got to do it yourself. Make sure that lesson sinks in.
But I will go on the record as along the way, you've been mostly the instigator of this stuff.
Really? Huh.
That's how I remember it.
Let's reminisce about one of these stories, right? Mm-hmm. So if you recall, it's been a number of years now. I won't go into how many, but we had the opportunity to DJ a wedding at Chevy Chase Country Club,
North Wheeling, Illinois.
Wheeling. Okay. Yep. I couldn't
remember
fact, what city limits it was in.
Not to interrupt you, but I guess I am interrupting you. Is Warren Township High School, all of our proms back then was at Chevy Chase Country Club.
Really?
Because it had that
it was
big
kind of
ballroom.
An impressive place. Yeah.
Oh, and it was historical, you know. It was
named after the guy from Caddyshack, right?
You know, I don't think so. But I don't even know how that name, that's a good trivia question. How they come up with that name. Because it was around forever. But go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
So we know we're going to DJ a wedding. And it's a nice space, so we're looking forward to it. And we've got the bright idea, hey, we're going to be down there. Why don't we just golf all day, and then we'll stay down there and, you know, and not have to go back and forth and repack and all that kind of stuff. And
just bring a change of, you know, a tuxedo, change of clothes.
Bring all of our stuff.
They got a locker room. We could shower.
Yeah.
I think that was your idea, but go ahead.
Way back in the day where we actually got Charlie to golf with us too, right? So there's me and a couple people golfing. Charlie's with us. And this was the days before Charlie completely gave up on golf. He'd actually go out and, well, I was going to say try, but I don't know what he was trying, but
he was
swinging clubs.
Right.
He had fun. Yeah. I think he shot a 132 or something like that day. So right in
that might be a little generous
for him.
Might be a little generous.
Yeah. And of course, when there's, you know, four buddies together playing golf, the pops were flowing, and we get kind of late in the round, and I'm starting to have a hard time focusing on which one of those balls to hit in front of me, because I don't know why I put 3 down, but so I tried to hit the one in the middle most of the time. And I think maybe we'd already completed the round, got back up to the clubhouse trying to have a bite to eat, and I looked at you and go, dude, I am lit. I'm not going to be any good to you at this wedding. And I was trying to talk my way out of having to be there. Mm-hmm. But you didn't let that happen, made me stay, which after we got a little bite to eat, I recovered and was able to help with the wedding and DJ some stuff. And then
by the way, not that we condone this.
Right. Well, we were in one place. We weren't driving.
Well,
right.
We were paid to do someone's biggest day.
Right.
You know, family, friends, and, you know.
The big important part was already over. They already said, I do. This was just the party.
Right. Good point. Yeah. I agree with you on that one.
So we got through cocktail music. We're, you know, get the dance floor going. Those things work pretty well for us, I think, most of the time. Get a crowd of people that don't like to dance and turn them into party goers, you know. And we get toward the end of the night, getting ready to kind of wrap things up, slowing down the activities. And do you remember the guy's name who kind of booked us for the show? The same guy who booked us for the New Year's Eve show that year? I can't remember his name.
I'm surprised I don't even still have it, because they're still open, but.
Are they? Well, he comes in, checks on us just to see how we're doing, because we're now his favorite people, because we just got booked to do New Year's Eve coming up not too far from then. He comes in and he's chatting, saying hi, and he goes, hey, where's Mike? Oh, he's right here. Oh, Mike. I turn around and you're laying on the frickin' floor behind the DJ booth.
Rusting my eyes.
Passed out. So the show went off. It was a good show, but Mike checked out just a little early that night.
Well, you had everything under control. I didn't want to steal your thunder.
True. Things were on autopilot at that point. It was wrapping down the evening. Must have been a little quiet, because it got quiet enough for you to fall asleep.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that, and let me back up a little bit, because this was one incident that we didn't have the best judgment, right? Maybe drank a little bit too much.
Probably could have been a little more reserved, knowing what was coming.
And like weddings and everything, you know, it's kind of like you set up the thing, and, you know, it's all beautiful, banquet hall, whatever it is. This isn't the Chevy Chase or anything, but and we rock them. Not saying we didn't that night. I'm sure we had a great wedding because, Keith. I think his name was Keith.
Okay.
I can't remember the last name. But, and DJ, you're a big part of the energy, the flow, and everything. I'm sure we did well. I'm sure I took one for the team, and I figured, well, I don't want Dean to miss out on this big event, so I convinced him to stay. I think I kind of knew, this is going to be a rough one. So I'll take someone, Dean will help me out.
Somebody go down with you.
Big deal. Yeah. And did Charlie stay?
No, he bailed. He and golfer number 4 were nowhere to be found.
Yeah. So, I mean, DJing, you got to do the formalities, the introductions, the garter type of deal and stuff like that. And that's got to go off without a hitch. Not saying this I've done many, many, many weddings in our lives, right? That you have to make sure you're keeping an eye on the bride and groom. Worst thing you do is call out, well, we're going to do the garter, and the bride is fixing her dress in the restroom or whatever. Right?
You got to do intros right. You got to do the garter right. You got to make sure the photographer's in the room for when they cut the cake and the father-daughter dance.
Great point.
If you don't screw up those 4 things, then you're probably okay.
Right. You can have everybody in the room and the father-daughter dance, and you forgot the photographer had to run out to his car to switch out a lens or something, and he doesn't even get the pictures.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble. You know what I mean? But our job is to get people rocking and rolling on the dance floor and everything else like that. We used to go to this extreme, and I found an old picture that...
Check that out.
Yeah. If I remember right, this is in Palatine somewhere. I can't... Waterfalls, something. I don't know. We used to even pass out some props every now. Not every wedding. We'd clarify this with the bride and groom ahead of time. Some want it more traditional and not this stuff, but some people would say, "Oh yeah, have at it," and we'd get up on chairs. I think we sold
this as the party package, right?
Right, something like that, right? There's Charlie with this Tasmanian vest on. He loved that thing. I got a Mickey Mouse one on. You got a nice blue one, whatever. But we would get on. We might have been doing like the Blues Brothers or something. That's playing in the background or something. Charlie and I, and for a big guy, I'm telling you, we used to get out and like do Footloose or the Macarena. We'd start it with people, and I think this is Footloose. Yeah. This is when...
You know what I love about this?
What's that?
Because you guys did this multiple times, but it was a setup. It was like, okay, every wedding we do, all 497 of them that we have done, at some point in the evening, Dean, go to the booth, put on this song. Charlie and I are going to infiltrate the crowd, and we'll make sure we get a picture of us in the middle of the wedding.
Well, again, keeping the photographer into it. I'm sure he took many pictures of everybody else doing it, but this is one of the shots we got from him. This is when, and I talked about this before, it was a different pick, but you and I and Charlie were at a wedding, but we had that cordless headsets. I call them Garth Brooks stuff. We thought we were the cool. You'd walk around, you got a mic pack, the little thing behind your,
Oh, yeah. For DJs in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had the shit.
Yeah.
Any new technology available, that was the best part of DJing for you because you wanted it. We had mini disc players. We had cordless headsets. We had video link ups before that was a thing.
Right.
It was awesome.
Yeah. But it's going back to the initial, how we started this conversation is, I'm sure I don't remember ever having like trying to get out of there because we stunk a wedding up or whatever.
No, I don't remember that ever.
We're always fired up, and and I put this one on there. This is what this is supposed to be me or you, Dean, the guy in the middle. I think that's
me, right?
We get all the bridesmaids, the good-looking girl. Yeah, it never happened with us. And this is a new picture because see the laptops?
Yeah.
We didn't have laptops, nothing like that.
Yeah, that turntable those laptops are on, that's really just a piece of paper. It's a picture of a mixing board. He's just got computers.
Yeah, something like that. But we ended up doing oh my gosh, if I can have, do I have them? So let me go back
Oh,
because I had a beef. Oh, I don't. Um, no. I found some pictures, and we'll have to talk about it. Um, down the way, but of at the same place at Chevy Chase Country Club in Wheeling,
yeah,
Illinois. Um, they liked us at one time or another. We did a lot of weddings there, and they had I think it was a US 99. It was a country New Year's Eve bash,
yeah. It was
and
us
we
and a band. Do you remember the name of the band that played?
Cun- Cumberland Mountain or
The
Cumberland.
lead singer, the manager, his name was Bear, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I remember you said you called him to coordinate with him, and when he answered the phone, all he said was Bear. Like didn't say hello, didn't ask who it was, just Bear.
Right. And we split with them. We did, and we had to uh, learn all the 5, 6, 7, the tush push,
Yeah,
the
had to learn how to
two
count them into a
step, and
line
right.
dance. Yep.
And we went to Sundance, and we went there with a notebook and pen, and we were going to learn all this stuff. And
Yeah.
we take Charlie with us because Charlie ended up, he's always with us, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the first night where they were like, all right, guys, listen up. And when he calls it out, we write down the song of what's going to a two step or
Got to know the name of the dance. Got to know the count. Yeah.
a tush push or, whatever the stuff they had, right? And we ended up getting drunk, like snooker drunk. And remember when I said Dean was an instigator? They had a
What?
bull. Remember, like
Not a
a
bull
fake bull, like, or a saddle, or
at Sundance. I thought they just had the girl with the bull whip.
oh, maybe that's what I'm talking about. And she'd walk around, and she's dressed in these chaps, and obviously she's very, you know,
Very pretty young
beautiful and
lady.
good
Yeah.
body and all that stuff. And we're ordering shots, and we didn't get much done the first night.
No. Well, remember, we're getting a little off track here, but the girl in the leather pants got up on a little table with a strobe light above her. They played Burnin' Love, and she
Yeah.
beat the crap out of herself with a little bull whip.
Yeah, right.
That's where the reference to the bull comes
Hunk.
from.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Hunk of burning love. Right.
Yeah.
That was great. And you're right. We're getting off topic, but um, that's yeah. So, anyways, but I have some pictures, and I'll go another episode down the line where, and I'm not even going to give it away. I mean, we had kind of famous because we're going to be on TV New Year's Eve. We're splitting with a band.
We had our own marquee picture bulletin
yeah,
board.
yeah. They had
right?
a professional. I mean, a total professional photo shoot that we had to go in and do, and blah blah blah. But we'll bring that up down the line because I'll tip.
I guess that does fit in.
I'll give you
even the bullwhip story.
Yeah, I'll give you a teaser. Dean messed that one up.
Of course.
He did.
Of course.
But anyways, we're talking about golfing. So one of my big things were we started out saying that DJing, drinking, golfing, we have lack of judgment.
Opportunities to make bad decisions. Yeah.
Bad intentions. So we go golfing. I'm gonna set this up. And we're always competitive. And I don't even think it's there anymore. It's like Indian Creek and Mundelein or something.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's not there anymore, though. You're right. There's like condos on the property now.
We decided that we weren't going to drink. We're going to see how good we can golf. And if I can beat Dean, Dean can beat me, whatever. And I think Charlie was with us.
Again, yeah.
Again.
Maybe Charlie's the instigator here.
You're on to something there. I don't even know who the fourth was. But we go golfing.
We're all excited, right? Like, oh, this is going to be a great day. We're going to really find out how good a golfer we can be.
Yep. So we golf like 3 or 4 holes, I think it was.
Oh, no. We're 2 holes in by the time the excursion.
Okay, so the third hole's a par 5. Yeah, you're right. Man.
Yeah,
so
it was early. Yeah.
Yeah. So we golf like 2 holes. the third hole is a par five,
A
and
long par five.
long par five, and we at one point, I think it's your second shot, you got to hit over a stream,
Yeah.
like a little lake, and they got a bridge or whatever.
Yeah. I wasn't going to make it. I had to lay up. You'd had to
Not big boy.
a second shot to go over that stream.
So the smart shot was to lay up and hopefully get on the green in 3, right?
Yeah.
So we start out this nice day, going golf and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, I'm like, I'm going for it. And I smash my second shot, and it's going to carry the water. Nope. And I'm like, oh my God.
And it was beautiful.
Right. But it
cleared
had
the
like
water, rolled up right in the middle of the fairway. It was
right,
perfect.
But there was like kind of like a hill. So Dean was at another spot. Like I dropped him off at his ball. He was driving the cart that day. I'm in the passenger seat. I put my club away. I get in the passenger seat and I use my left foot, and I'm steering the car.
Driving from the passenger side.
And who hasn't done that? One time or another, right? And I'm trying to admire my shot and look for my ball while I'm,
you were kind of like leaning out the side of the cart.
Right.
Stretch it out as far as you can to see, oh, wow, where did that go?
And they have like a bridge like this, that you got to cross, and it's got the metal poles and stuff.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. I mean, normally we do, crazy things, not like wheelies. I just thought I'd throw that picture on there. But I'm going up, and I got to cross this bridge, right? And I'm still trying to look for my ball. I'm like, oh, my God, it was a great shot. And I panic because you gotta go in the middle of these little. They're not like 2-lane bridges.
Yeah, it's like a cart,
one golf
maybe
cart
a cart
fits.
and a little bit plus.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm driving just with my left hand. My left foot, is on the gas, and instead of hitting the brake, I just pressed the gas more, and I slammed the front of the cart right into. Yeah. One of the side poles of the bridge.
Hit the post square. Stop the cart dead. Not hit it, bounced off of it, went onto the bridge. Hit it dead center, nose cone of the cart. Bam!
And I cracked this thing. And it sounded like someone fired a shotgun.
Oh, yeah. It was loud.
It was this big crack. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And the cart kind of, this is not the original picture, but the front was all jacked and cracked and coming off. And
yeah, coming off. So this is what it looked like after you pick the nose cone up and kind of wrestle it back onto the cart itself. So it looked like, okay, that's not too bad. Maybe that'll stay there and we'll be okay.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way. So, and it was it was a really, really good shot. But then,
it really was.
I'm like, oh, they're going to make me pay for this thing, man. And again, we're cheap 20-year-olds back then, late 20s probably, right? Early. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we started drinking.
Yeah, I think you went, even before you hit your next shot, I think you drove to the clubhouse, bought a 12-pack, and came back. Yeah. And then we picked up from there.
And then we golf, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8.
The turn. Yep.
Well, the turn, they call the turn because it's 18 holes, is right after 9.
Yep. Back up by the clubhouse.
And they always strategically, right, have the courses. So you stop in, get a burger, a pop, a beer, whatever. And we're going to stop and get more beer. And again, it was by Dean's idea.
Probably.
And the ranger or the clubhouse guy comes out, and he starts asking about, hey, what happened? And I'm, I don't know, what are you talking about? We're golfing here, And he's like, well, we heard it from the clubhouse. I'm like, heard what? What? And he proceeds to walk to the front end of the cart, and he's giving me the business. And I'm not going to say Dean did it. I mean, obviously I did it. But the guy's, he's going on, and he's acting like this is what it looked like. you know, or
Yeah, it wasn't quite that bad. I mean, it
no,
did still look like a cart.
or
You
you
could
know,
still drive it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's definitely giving me the business, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, word to be wise, and this is the first of two times I take advantage of this. Your homeowner's insurance will cover it. Did you know
That
that?
was the lesson learned that day. If you
No,
smash a golf cart,
because I did it again. I did it again at not Greenshire, right on Middle Lothian and Munline. Greenshire, right?
that doesn't
Whatever.
sound right, but yeah.
Ninth hole, the wind's blowing left to right, or right to left, I should say.
Okay.
And I got a 9-iron. It's a par 3. Like, oh man, I'm golfing good. I hit this ball, and the wind takes my ball. Well, right next to the ninth hole is Midlothian Road. And it carries, and all of a sudden you hear a pow.
Oh no!
And they're like,
and then screeching brakes.
Yes, you freaking hit a car. I'm like, no way. Oh no, let's hurry up and get done with the hole. We get up there. It's a Illinois State Trooper.
Oh,
his
no.
car, and he's calm. I admit, I'm like, hey man, the wind took it,
Yeah.
And
they have a ball in his hand that had the big C on it.
No, he had your ball with. It looked like someone shot a bazooka in his windshield, and he goes, you know what? I could have cared less. He goes, I'm coming off a double, and I was just returning because you remember they Winchester and like 21 used to be the Illinois State. That's where they store a lot of their police squads, and that's where they check it.
Yep. Okay.
He was getting off like a double shift or a 12-hour shift, whatever it was. And he goes, now I got to do paperwork for 2 hours. I said, is there any way? He goes, no. So that was the second time I had to take advantage of my homeowner's
So it's
insurance.
amazing what your homeowners will cover for you.
Hey, agreed. And but anyways, there was I didn't want to elaborate too much on golfing incidents, but I've made some really, really bad decisions. Back in the early 2000s, I wanted to buy a bar.
Ooh, I don't know if that's a good idea for a guy like you.
No, it was not. And I picked out the name, and the name was going to be Bad Intentions.
Oh, no.
Or no, Bad Decisions.
Bad Decisions. Okay.
Because that's usually what happens at a bar. You get in a fight, or all kinds of different. We can tell a bunch of different stories about this, that, and another thing. But I'm like, I never did buy a bar. But when we first started talking about, on some days we do the wrong thing, is drinking is not good sometimes.
Well, let's not be too hasty here. We had multiple variables, right? Weddings, golf, drinking was in there, but let's remove. We already removed weddings. We're not DJing anymore. Let's talk about the golf thing before we eliminate drinking, because let's be honest, some of the best times we've ever had included that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, there is, the bingo, bango, bongo. Again, we talk all the time. We're so competitive, and we're not good golfers, but we're not bad golfers by any means. But it's always turned in. I mean,
there's the day that Charlie and I almost threw each other's golf bags in the lake.
Yeah.
There's that outing where somehow a fish found its way into the hole.
Okay. I remember this time. And this is a whole nother episode because it carried on after we left. And I misspoke. It's not when we left, after we were asked to leave. Remember, I wanted prizes or something.
Yeah, we asked about the prizes because surely we played well enough to win, right?
So it was Grand Bowl outing. And we were a last foursome, like a foursome we weren't signed up for this thing. And Craig said, hey, there's an opening. He didn't golf. And we're like, we'll golf.
Yeah,
so we
I'm
went.
in.
And then remember on the first tee, they go, well, who wants to go first? And I think we had the DJ that night. Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, we'll go. You
Yeah.
know, so we get in and out of there, right? And they had like a keg at every fourth
Every
or fifth
third
hole.
hole or something weird like that. Yeah.
Not good recipe.
You know, you
for
let us go first. The guys who are at the back of that rotation, I think they complained an awful lot about something happened to the kegs. They ran light or something like that. I'm not sure. They were fine for us, so I don't know what happened beyond that.
I think I was the one that got mad and missed a putt. I think I stuck a fish in the hole or something like that. And I stuck the pin in the
pin right in the fish's mouth.
And again,
like that.
everyone knows it's us because we went first. So the people right behind us,
yeah,
I'm an idiot. But at the end of the round,
looking back, that was probably not the best decision.
I would imagine not. So
yeah,
at the end of the round, you got mad at Charlie for some reason. And
I was golfing poorly, and he was calling attention to it.
No,
and he said something that kind of snapped in my head. So I grabbed his bag off the cart. Now I'm heading for the lake. And I got almost to the lake, and I realized, oh crap, my bag's still on the cart. And I turned around, sure enough, he had my bag in his hand, and he was heading right for the lake.
Yeah, he goes, go ahead.
Yeah, he was going to throw mine too.
Yours go.
Needless to say, I did not throw his clubs in the lake. I did empty his bag all over the ground, but still.
Yeah, and then we had lunch there, and we're eating, and the head guy comes over, and I said, when are we gonna do prizes? I think we won a couple, longest drive or whatever. Probably
First
not.
fish in a hole, yeah.
And he goes, that's when he asked us to politely leave.
Yeah.
And
you guys might want to get out of here.
And he did remind us that we are not welcome back there.
Yeah.
Again.
And don't bother registering next year.
Yeah. But
see, we can talk about that and laugh, so it can't be all bad.
No. I mean, I'm sure we gave good humor to a lot of people along the way.
Yeah, there's probably several people that got the joke, the fish in the hole thing. Yeah.
Just not the 4 people right behind us.
Not the guy who
because they had to take it out.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, it was short and sweet tonight. I have a Bear game to watch. And I'm sure everybody in the nation is probably watching Monday Night Football for the Bears.
Of course. So if anybody's got an example of a bad decision you made, maybe at a wedding, maybe out golfing, maybe out drinking with your buddies, drop us a line. Let us know about it.
So here, and I'm glad you brought that up, so I do a lot of the technical stuff behind the scenes for this podcast, right? And I'm not that good at it by any means, right? But one thing that, we say, hey, go to mikeanddean.com, take a look at us. I've been putting on our full episodes on my on our website, right?
Yeah.
And then we're getting these emails from, I could say even across the country, the U.S., from different places here or there, people. And we're like, we go to our YouTube channel, we have 13 followers. I'm like, we've gotten more emails than that. Like, I don't get it. And then it dawned on us, and I think Dean was the smart one, figured out. He goes, well, why would they go to our YouTube channel when they go to the website and just click it there and watch the whole thing, right?
Yep.
So please, if you like or what we have to say or dislike and want to comment, go to our YouTube channel, follow us, like us. We'd like to get those subscribers or the followers or the likes up as much as possible, kind of see where we sit in this whole bag of tricks.
Yeah, I think we're going to start putting just previews on the website, right? And go to the YouTube channel for the full video.
Right.
And like, subscribe, leave us a note. We've got a couple emails we're going to respond to. We got Mark out in Vegas. We got Julie out in Eau Claire, trying to keep up on our emails. Thank you for the comments. We'll stay on top of it.
I agree, buddy. Anything else you got before we go?
Well, I think I'm going to stop there before I make a bad decision.
I see you're learning. Got a Bears hat to throw on before the game, or?
No. This is, We'll talk about this next time, but this is a potential sponsor coming up.
Right, and you got a bunch of those hats.
I do. Multiple colors, multiple patterns.
It hides your balding.
Yeah, it does.
All right, Dino. Till next time, buddy.
All right, take care.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time around.